Welcome friends to the newest edition of Seahawkers What If, the most unique Seahawks preview show in the multiverse. I'm your host, Clinton Bonner. Come out and find me on Twitter at Clinton Bond. I am joined by the one, the only, the Montana money maker from Montana, Mr. Adam Everett, filling in for Brandon today. I think
first time ever. First time he's ever been on What If.
Gonna say, I think it's the first time. Find him nowhere on Twitter, because if it's on Twitter, what's the saying, Adam?
It doesn't matter.
It
But
doesn't.
here's the thing: you can find me right next to Twitterless Abe. Like we're hanging out together. But yeah, once again, yet another honor to be on the preview show here for the first time ever. This is great.
I think this is your fourth first time. Is this your fourth first time on What If this year, maybe?
It is.
Yeah, something like that, man. The thing is that it's just as special every time.
It feels like the first time. I think we made that joke the last time, the first time. And of course, it could not be, we could not traverse the multiverse without the protector of the Seahawks multiverse. And that's Mr. Phil Leidick, who is doing us all a favor, dialing in from OKC because he's out there on some business doing his thing. And boys, I don't know how you guys are feeling. I got this sign behind me that says house money. I am feeling like we got all the chips. We might as well push them in. We might as well play our hand, play our game the way Dan Campbell played their game to help us get in and to get this game versus our biggest rivals going. I don't feel pressure. Adam, how do you feel, man? You feeling any pressure?
Oh, this is absolutely a no pressure game. I'm sure for the players there's pressure, right? Like none of them want to go home at this point when you've had the season that you've had, when everybody told you that you couldn't. You want to keep proving people wrong. But at some point here, the ride will come to an end, and it very may well be this week. But also, too, like the Niners, they've been winning a lot in a row. They are gunning to beat us for a third time in a season. That is actually not quite as hard as people make it sound if you look at the actual stats of it. But also, too, against a division rival, it is kind of difficult. So there's a lot of things that could happen here this Saturday. And while unlikely, it is certainly not impossible that the Seahawks move on.
I like that. And Mr. Phil, how about you? Nervous, feeling loose as a goose? Where are you on that scale?
Well, you talked about house money, and it's not like you can actually even push in all the chips. It's not even an option. There are chips that cannot be played on this game because a lot of our chips we get to go home with after the season, no matter what. I mean, it's been a great, fun season. We got awesome draft picks. We got a lot to look forward to next year. But I am still going to put a lot into desiring to win this. So I can't lie and on the podcast here and say, if we lose, I don't care, because I want to win. I don't want to lose to the stupid whiners 3 times. Bang, 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 whiner gang garbage. I want to win. But yeah, the odds aren't great, but that makes it even more fun. I mean, this could be more exciting if we win. If we lose, we still got great chips for next season. It's been a cool season. That's kind of how I feel about this one.
Oh yeah, and I want to be clear with the audience too. I'll still be pissed if we lose because I'm with you. I want to win, and this is the Niners. So if we lose by 1, if we lose by 100, it's that equals suck. That's no. I want to win, right? And we're here now. I know the odds. Who cares? The odds when the whistle blows, odds go out the window. I think Brandon said in the last pod, it's like it's not. We don't start with 10, and they're not giving us 10. It's a game, Adam, that might've been you who said it. But like either way, yeah, but it's the game is on. So I'm fired up.
The game kicks off at 0-0 either way.
The best way you could help us, people ask us all the time, hey, how can we help? Yeah. Gettingtheflock.com is fantastic. Become a patron, contribute to the show that way. Really go out, listen, subscribe, and share it with other 12s. Like that's how the whole darn thing grows. And we end up with a watch party with several hundred of our closest friends cheering on a fourth down play for the Detroit Lions. Like that was a ton of fun. So that's my call to action for all y'all out there is, if you don't subscribe on YouTube, subscribe. If you haven't shared it with another 12, heck, you probably live somewhere west, most likely, the data tells us. Share it with your friends, right? And with that, we got this game to get to. We like to check in. We like to do previously with the protector to check in on the last game. We know the Niners well. However, Mr. Phil, what do you see when you watch the Niners last replay? Who'd they take down? Oh, the Cardinals. Oh, the Cardinals are a mess.
That game was tough to account for. Rather than a regular previously with a protector, I'm just going to kind of audible in here and say that the Niners have won 10 in a row. They've looked pretty good since they traded for McCaffrey. Good news for him. He didn't get hurt like many of us expected, and he's a great fit for Shanahan, as we had thought. They've won 10 in a row. They're second by DVOA. They're America's hottest team. If you watch them as a rule, they're awesome at yak. Their quarterback, he's not good if he needs to throw beyond the sticks. And so if we can force that, if we can get him under a little bit of pressure, but boy, Kyle is good at getting him in those slots where they can catch and run it. We understand that. And then we understand this defense has been really, really good. I think they're starting to have a few cracks, even though this is as healthy as they've been. Coach Carroll said it. We are absolutely up against it. If we win this, it is going to be some job of David going after big old Goliath in a kind of way. It might take a little bit of luck, but there could be some scheming ways that we can do it. And we can always hope that Kyle can, help us out a little bit. But there's no way to sugarcoat this, guys. I can't say that this is going to be an easy matchup, but it's going to be crazy weather down there. It's going to be wild, rainy, windy, all kinds of nutso stuff. And so there's a lot of things that we can look to happen. So I won't say anything more about the previously. You guys have anything to say about this opponent before I ask you questions about the opponent?
Adam, how about you take it first if you like?
Yeah, you hit on a couple things really quickly here, Phil. And I think the number one thing is the weather. So the idea that they're going to go down there and play in a monsoon, basically, those are the types of games that levels the playing field between a lesser team and a team that's stacked, because it actually takes a lot of their speed away and a lot of those things, especially when you're a team that relies almost exclusively on yak. If you guys are having a hard time really getting down the field and making big cuts and all that stuff, like, you might be limited a little bit there. And then you factor in the idea that it's still Brock Purdy at quarterback, guys. And I understand that he's come in and acquitted himself very well early on in his experiment here at the end of the season. But with that said, have we ever seen Brock Purdy in the NFL playoffs? No. And that's something that I think is a big factor for a guy who was Mr. Irrelevant, right? And you start thinking about that, the idea this is the third time we've seen him. You think about the fact that the last time we played them, actually, it was just a couple big plays that were the big difference in that game.
Homer fumble.
Yeah, exactly. So is there a path? You bet your ass it is. And then, honestly, a lot of the things are kind of lining up to give us the best shot at actually defeating them.
Yeah, for me, the word, and I'll probably bring it up a few times, is simply like getting them nervous, because they're the ones, like, we see Gino dancing down the hallway and Pete coming around the bend on a scooter. That's what we see, right? It's like, like, if you guys saw that on Twitter or wherever you watch Adam, but these great little videos, like, our team's loose. They are loose. They're having fun. You could see the vibe is loose and let's go. I don't think it will take a lot to get a rookie Brock Purdy led team
adversity
a little nervous, where it's like, wait a second, where the Packers went to halftime being like, this game's not supposed to be this close. The national media wrote a different story. Like we said, the Yankees don't lose game sevens until they do. So I'm excited to get into the themiology. Mr. Phil, what do you got this week for us?
Yes, gentlemen. Here we go. How well do you remember Schoolhouse Rock? No, not a bit.
Pretty well, yeah.
You don't know it at all, Adam? Oh,
is this a song?
Well,
there's the songs for learning. This is game 3, which harkens back to the great song in the series. 3 is a magic number, right? Yes, it is, right? So what if 3, gentlemen, can be the magic number? This song is predictive of our upcoming matchup with the Bang Bang Weiner gang. What if 3 can be the magic number? Today's categories are brought to you by the number 3, which that's the jersey that made all of this possible, right? The number 3 has been huge this year, and now we're playing game 3. So, of course the categories have to do with 3. We have 3's company.
Nice.
3 Kings. We just got through the Christmas season, so we'll throw that in there. 3 Stooges, and then me 3. You know, there's me 1, me 2, and me 3. That's just a bonus question at the end because I should have had 3 categories with 3's the magic number, but I wanted to throw that one in. It is 3's Company, which will be the first category. We are at an odd numbered episode, which means it starts with Brandon, who isn't here. So it starts with Adam. What if 3 of our players can display great chemistry in this Saturday's episode? Who does that need to be? 3 players of great chemistry. You can go offense, you can go defense, but you're first, Adam.
It's always fun because I never know exactly what the categories are going to be and in the themes, right? And this fits into one of my biggest thoughts going into this game. This tees it up perfect, Phil. So well done.
Okay.
The 3 guys that need to have great chemistry to pretty much guarantee a win. If these 3 guys have it together for this game and they play their best game of the year, this is a guaranteed win for the Seahawks. And that is Gabe Jackson, Austin Blythe, Damian Lewis. Those 3 boys, if they can put it together and have their best game of the year, look, the rookie tackles are going to have their hands full with Bosa and the boys for sure, and they're going to give up a couple sacks. That's just how it is. But if they can eliminate the interior pressure and also create those interior running lanes for Ken Walker and a monsoon, Seahawks have an excellent chance of winning this game.
I love it. How about you, Clinton? 3 guys and 3's Company too.
Yes. I mean, love all of that, of course. You know, I think I was a Janice person. I know everybody was it for Chrissy, but I kind of like Janice. But either way, I can't believe, Adam, you don't know Schoolhouse Rock. You know, like the Constitution song, like, and that's how they make the Bill of Rights. And the Bill of Rights is like on the steps. It's all cartoony.
Was this at school for you boys? Like,
it was everywhere.
Watch this
They had it on Saturday, between Saturday cartoons.
Like you'd see the Bill of Rights singing a song about the Bill of Rights in cartoon form.
And at school too.
I have never even heard of this before.
And it's voiced by like really famous, you know, like singers of the era and stuff, right? So but
hold
anyway.
on, let's take another poll of a similarly aged person here real quick. Britt, have you ever heard of Schoolhouse Rock?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was a definitive yes. I don't know what my problem is. So yeah.
I had to check in with that real quick. I do love your answer, by the way. The important part I love. I'm gonna go. Sometimes I like to, not every episode, but sometimes I like to talk about other sports and how they relate to our Seattle Seahawks. In baseball, there is a big feeling, and I know Adam loves some baseball talk, but there's always this big talk about defensively being sound up the middle. So your best players are your catcher, your shortstop, your second baseman, and your center fielder. Those are your best defenders. And then you got specialists at first base and stuff like that. But that's how you build a defensive unit in baseball. So I'm looking at Shelby. It's an odd couple here. 3 amigos: Shelby Harris, Cody Barton, Quandre Diggs.
I like it.
Now it's a little like, hey, how are they communicating? What are they doing? Kind of different levels. Can Harris be disruptive? Can we see Barton be decisive, as we saw last week on that little out to Akers that he chases that down? And man, what a freaking play early of the year. That's 6.
I love that play. I love that.
Easy 6. He's playing better, seeing the field differently. And then Diggs, he is that center fielder. Can he just he had his hands on a bad Purdy pass last time. That was another big miss moment for us that led to a
play of the year last week though, right?
Oh yeah, that was amazing. That was so good, right? So those dudes up the middle. I'll take
it was a good one. I don't know if it's played,
but the catch itself was so good.
Thrilling,
the catch was so good.
Thrilling.
He was running so fast and out of control just to catch up. So yeah, up the middle, man. Defensively sound up the middle. That will be kind of special. It might come out in different moments. In fact, I'm sure it will. But that'll be really cool to watch. And it's because also the 49ers freaking dink and dunk. It's like Kelsey, turn around. I mean, Kelsey, Kittle, find the hole. McCaffrey out of the
tight end with a
flats.
K, right?
Yeah, exactly. Good tight end with a K, right? So we shall see. But those 3 dudes are shining periodically. We got a real good shot.
Okay. Next question. Clinton first. 3's Company. Unfortunately, Gino is likely to see some company that they're going to come trying to eat and outstay their welcome in Gino's kitchen. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
What if we can mitigate these unwelcome guests, these pass rushers that are going to try to eat in Gino's kitchen? How might we do that, Clinton?
So a couple of things come to mind, and I won't steal all the answers because I got to leave some for our first time ever guest star here, Mr. Adam. So let me try and whittle it down to maybe one. Um, the biggest one that comes to mind for me is we were seeing success, and Adam, you called this out last time when we started getting our quick game slants to DK and just getting the ball out on time in rhythm against Ward, where the Niners don't have a lot of weaknesses on defense. The cornerbacks, people like it's a weakness. I mean, maybe it's the weakest part, but they're still good. I think they're still a good group. With that, I think we got to give them a little of their own medicine, a little bit of the quick game, slant passes, kind of West Coast style offense, use the middle of the field. Because I don't think our tight ends are going to have the rabid success because their linebackers are so freaking good. You know, they take away that aspect. So got to see that big DK game, get the ball out on slants early, move the chains early, start putting them back on their heels, start to create some nerves. There's some other ways, but I'll leave some on the table for Adam to pick it up for sure.
What do you got, Adam? Mitigate the pass rush.
Yeah. Well, the obvious ways are to actually, if you're running that heavy set of
13.
players, right? You have that heavy
22
personnel
or
in.
13. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Then you bring your tight ends in, you leave them in the block, you don't run them out on routes. You have a lot of two-man concepts with the back leaking out, things like that, right? That's kind of the low-hanging fruit. But really, what kind of parlays with what Clinton had going on there, what he was saying was getting the ball out quick. And basically, the offensive line has to look at Geno Smith this week and be like, help me, help you.
Yeah,
And
I like that.
basically, the way that Geno can do that is he can be decisive. And what happened is in this last game against the Rams, he throws that pick right away and then was late on almost every ball after that. And whether that was holding on to the ball for too long because, you know, the coverage was really good, or he was seeing it, but not quite trusting it. He held on to the ball for too long. And against the Niners, that's instant death. So basically, Geno is going to have to just let it rip. And if it's a pick, it's a pick. If it's not, it's not. Just throw the ball. We're on, again, house money. Geno was never supposed to be here. He doubled his salary this year. Who gives a crap, man? Let it rip. And if he does that and plays with confidence and is on time and in the quick game, they have a real shot of actually being able to move the ball consistently.
Yeah. And nobody's throwing deep in this game if the weather's like what everybody's saying it's going to be. So, and everybody knows Three's Company is all about the really annoying neighbors, right? So we got to keep them out. I mean, that's what the show is all about.
Right.
Keep the irritating neighbors out of our house. All right. Three Kings. I hope you like these questions. I kind of did. That means they'll probably just flop and you'll say, good question. I don't have an answer, but we'll try. Adam gets to go first on this one. To get checkmate, Kings must fall. What if we rank the Niners trio of Kings as far as our priority of containment? How would you rank 3 players we must contain these? 1, 2, 3. Your order, Adam, then we'll get Clint.
All right. This is actually pretty simple to me. Anybody who touches the ball in the running game, right? So McCaffrey, Debo, Elijah Mitchell. Those are the 3 Kings.
That's it.
Kittle can go off, and he's going to have a big game. We know he is. Ayuk might make a play or two, but traditionally, I know he had a nice year, but he's not somebody that I spend any time really worrying about. I mean, he's a good 2 or a good 3 and maybe an okay 2 receiver. But this Niners offense, especially in the conditions that we're going to see this weekend, it's going to be all about the run. And if you remember back to last game, it was close because Shanahan somehow decided to just not run the ball when he could at will. I don't see him making that mistake again. I hope he does. But if he does, then the 3 Kings, McCaffrey, Debo, Elijah Mitchell.
I like it. I'm a little surprised that you left off who I believe is the most impactful player in the NFL, possibly. But you only stayed on the offense, so that's okay. Clinton, how do you got? 3 Kings we have to contain.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely hinting at it, right? So it's one of those things where it's like you have to contain him, but can we? Like,
But it's
we're
not going to
talking,
happen. That's
yeah,
what you're thinking.
we're talking, but you're hinting at Nick Bosa, and I'm like, can we? Or is it just going to be like, well, dog's going to eat? You could chalk him up to 1.5 sacks, but it can't be 4 sacks, right? And be okay with that. So I do wonder, like, how do you contain, and can we contain that guy? We shall see. I'm actually, I think, going to stick over on the offensive side of the ball too, and just kind of
Okay.
leap a little forward and say, it's also equally hard. How the heck do we contain George Kittle? Well, I'm really interested, very interested in, again, Barton being in the position he's in and where Muse is now, and bringing, Bryant, who's had I think he's had a good end to his season. And are we going to get Ryan Neal back? Right. So we have to have some elixir about how the heck are we going to contain, Kittle, and can we? I hope Ryan
And
Neal can
Bryant's good in
play.
the box.
Exactly.
Have you guys thought he was good other places besides in the box and in the backfield? I'm not sure. I'm curious. I know he's looked good around the line of scrimmage and behind it as a pressure guy. How has he looked downfield covering tight ends? Has it been better?
I don't think it's been great, but I think he's a rookie, and that's what you said. You said Bryant, right?
Yeah, Bryant. You
Yeah.
mentioned Bryant, and I
Yeah.
like this disruptive stuff he does in the front. I just didn't know.
And I
On
think
Kittle, I'm not excited.
And I think that's where it is. Like, I think the way to kind of disrupt Kittle is going to be my number 2, or maybe the number 1, is really to try and confuse Brock Purdy. Now, there's a couple. So, and I'm not even sure I have a third. I think if we concentrate we got to stop the run. So, like what Adam said, has got to be one of the 3. Has to be. Otherwise, I'm not doing the question any justice. But I do think there are ways in which we could throw a little bit of the kitchen sink at Brock Purdy and confuse him a little bit more. This past week, we saw some cool things where Muse and Barton are like, we have 6 lined up on the line, and Barton and Muse are right next to each other, and either over center, guard, center. Then on the snap, they're doing something. And we didn't blitz all that much, but in times when we did, we got that disruption. We have got to get. I don't have a lot of confidence in getting pressure with just 4. Maybe we do. Taylor's looking a heck of a lot better. 6 sacks last 5 games. Nuosu's been steady, Eddie, consistent. Cool. Different level of offensive line, different level of scheme. Can we keep that pressure up without bringing a 5th or 6th dude? I'm not convinced we can. So I think getting real tricky at the offense, at the defensive line, and putting some schemes in front of Brock that he maybe hasn't seen yet, where he just doesn't know what to go do in real crappy weather, 50-mile-per-hour winds, downpour. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to just see some great scheming by Hurt that disrupts the way Purdy's meant to think, and then he's not finding Kittle wide open, hopefully. And we got to stop the run. Adam, I know you want to say something.
Yeah, I kindly disagree just a tiny bit, Clinton, and only because
it's okay.
The thing that's going to be out there confusing Purdy and making life hard on Purdy in this game is the weather. We don't have to scheme it up. It's just going to be there. So let the weather make it tough on Purdy. Make their scheme tough on Purdy, because they don't throw up much past the sticks, and just focus on playing up on everybody and just stopping the run. Just make the run, just sell all out on stopping the run, and make them beat you with Brock Purdy. Make Mr. Irrelevant actually beat you in the weather. And if you do that, you're probably in pretty good shape. So I don't know that you need to do much to, like, really disguise and confuse and make it hard on Purdy. Catfish that. Like, just concentrate on the run and let the elements take care of Purdy.
Well, this is why Taylor, I'm worried about his use. I mean, Clinton said a million things I want to jump in on, but I'm worried about Taylor's usage in this game, because I'm worried about the Niners' run game and everything Taylor's been doing that's awesome. He's one of the best, most effective pass rushers in the last 5-6 games of the season by every metric, pass rushing. But containing the edge against these Niners, I'm terrified. I can't see Taylor. I see him being more of a problem than a help. And this question terrifies me. Adam said it's so easy to see the 3 kings. I'm thinking this is like if you're playing chess, your ultimate imagine as a kid. if I could get all my pawns and turn them into queens. I just feel like the Niners have so many guys to contain, to pick three between their defense and their offense. How do you decide? I mean, it's got to be a team win along with the weather. I just can't say let's take three. But Adam made me feel a little better. He's got weather. He's got the three runners. Maybe that's all it takes. We slow the run game down and the rest of it falls. I really hope so.
So, I mean, kind of the idea being is you talk about all the guys on their defense that you need to stop. Just already acquiesce to the idea that it's going to be tough sledding offensive because of the weather and having to be a little one-dimensional and the Niners being so good in the trenches. Okay, if that's the case, and we know that it most likely will be, all right, so they score 14 to 17 points. That's realistic. Can you then keep the Niners under 14 to 17 points in the weather with all that stuff with a quarterback? That's your hope, right? You have to play above your skis on defense to keep this game where it needs to be. Whatever happens offensively is what happens, and you're gonna take some lumps against that defense. There's just no way around it.
Yeah, that's good points. Clinton, next question. Three Kings. What if we can be the Kings of down number 3 in this game? Can you identify what might be the key for third down being the magic number for the Hawks on Saturday? We've been really improving on defense. We haven't been improving on offense. What's the key for third down, winning third down in this game, Clinton?
Yeah. So even last game, we were 1 for 10, right? In the Rams game, I think we were 1 for 10 in third downs. So it's been a slog, and I don't expect us to suddenly be 6 for 12 or 7 for 14 or 7 for 13 against the Niners, because they're better than the Rams, significantly better than the Rams. And the weather's crap. So the best way to, in my opinion, the best way to mitigate this is we saw real good effectiveness when Geno used his shoes, when Geno used his legs. And he has got to, he threw the ball a lot better from shotgun than he did under center. I'm like, hey, we got to be under center. We got to be under center, run the ball. I want to run the ball under center. Geno did not throw the ball well under center. The drive to get the touchdown was all from shotgun. So we've got to figure that balance out. And if we're going to have a hard time run the ball, which I think we're going to, we'll try, because that's what we do. But it's going to be hard. It's just going to be like, can Geno on second down get a couple of scrambles in and not wait to third and forever? We get to third and forever, no bueno. We do not have a good chance at turnovers, not just low conversion, but punting the ball all day long. Can he use his legs on second down a couple of times? First down, I bet you're going to be running the ball a lot. It's the type of game you're probably going to run the ball, especially last game. If you guys remember, first play of the game, under center, first down, play action fake, interception. Pete's going to remember that. Pete will remember that. I can almost guarantee you the ball's going into the belly of Ken Walker on our first offensive possession. I can almost guarantee you that. With that, second down, Geno using his legs. It's going to be tough. Can he get to third and shorts with a couple of scrambles that then get us 5 out of 12 third downs? That ain't bad against these 49ers. And can Geno be the catalyst to get us into some third and shorts? I think he can.
Yeah. So Adam, Clinton really focused on the offense, which I think has been our problem. Is there a way, all I'm asking for, I'm hoping, is that our offense can end up with better third down numbers than our defense held the Niners to? Is that possible, and how?
Yeah. So it's honestly a thought that's actually fairly close to Clinton's and rather related. And the key to third down, both offensively and defensively, paradoxically, is first down. First down is where it's all going to happen in this game. If the Seahawks can come out on first down and keep in positive plays, and I'm not even talking big plays, 2 yards, 3 yards, whatever it is, right? Just to kind of get the offense moving a little bit, and especially if you can run it and do that, or if it's even in the quick passing game, I don't really care. One way or the other offensively, that's what you need to do to keep yourself on schedule. And then defensively speaking, how do you make it hard on a rookie quarterback in a big playoff game, the biggest moment of his football career? Don't give him 3rd and 3. You give him 3rd and 13. Then that's a totally different ball game in the rain. That's when those rookie quarterbacks in a big moment tend to make big mistakes. And you saw Baker even struggle with it in this last game. When the Seahawks were able to get pressure in the early downs, they were able to get the Rams push back and make it really difficult on a team that runs offense very similar to the way that Kyle's running offense right now. I mean, with Baker as quarterback, right? It's all short stuff for the most part. The one deep shot that he took, Q just like ran it down, called it good. So the Niners play very similarly. Hawks can do the same thing against them as they did the Rams. I don't know, because that was the Rams JV team, and the Niners have some real weapons in the skill position players.
And Phil, one thing I want to add to that is you mentioned Taylor earlier. And yes, if we get to 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, or even 2nd and 9, then hey, Taylor season, let's go.
Yep, he's in. Yeah,
he's in. It's just going to be very interesting. There's going to be some inflection point of like, how many times can Taylor actually be in the game will be very, very indicative of, well, how many times are they in an obvious passing situation in the crap rain? Like, did we do a good job to get him into at least 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 6 you'd almost sign for, right? So that Taylor could go in and do his job, which is go get the quarterback. He's really good when that's the thing to go do. Man, dude's on fire, right? Yeah. So it'd be really cool to see at least a few shots that Taylor gets to just go. That's the thing. Go freaking sack Purdy. Go strip the ball. Yep. I'll be celebrating if we see that. It'd be a sense that the Niners will be in a position to probably be a little nervous. It would just be indicative that we could win this game. If we don't see it at all, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 1s, it won't go our way. That it's as simple as that.
I'm glad you said that. I was actually, when Adam was talking, I thought Taylor, this could be Taylor's shot if those scenarios come in. Well, the next category, a little on the lighter front here, we're going to talk about Three Stooges. That's the category. When I think of the Three Stooges, 2 things come to mind: laughter and whiner fans. So what if our team can get them to make some hilarious and painful sound effects, some angry texts and comments? What will they be especially crying about, Adam? What do you anticipate after this game? Should things go the way we hope? What do you expect is most likely whiner fans are going to cry about?
Oh, I can almost guarantee you it's going to be the weather. One way to get underneath a fair weather Californian skin is have some bad weather. Well, it wasn't 72 and perfect, and so we couldn't play our best game. It's the only reason why you guys won. I can see it already.
In the Bay Area, or however, right?
In the Bay Area, it rained, so we couldn't win.
Oh, I love it.
What do you got, Clinton?
I just got the figure from Brittany. Yeah.
Is she from the Bay Area? You probably
she lived there for a number of years. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So what do I got? I'm trying to think of the scenarios that would not be a weather related thing, and try to get into the mind, which is not a safe place to be.
Not a fun place.
Of Bay Area whiner fans. And I don't want to go to the refs and be like the refs blew it either. Though that could be an easy one as well. Maybe I think it would be something along the lines of that the coach turned back into a pumpkin with Purdy. That they'd be like, we knew it was coming. That's why he's Mr. Irrelevant. If we had Garoppolo, if we had Trey,
we even had our second string quarterback.
Exactly,
we would have beat you guys.
Yeah. So I could see that being like, well, it was a ticking time bomb.
They're one of the healthiest teams in the league, except for quarterback.
Yeah. So I hope that'd be amazing if we see those kind of tweets at the end of the day where they're like suddenly turning on their perfect little Purdy boy there, who's 6-0 and during this 10 win streak. That'd be special. And you could see it happening. Like, you can see, I told you, I saw the shoots that he wasn't perfect. Look at that Diggs interception a couple of weeks ago, right? That'll be special. Like, back to the drawing board, disarray, total, mass confusion about what they're doing as a entity moving forward. Boy, would that be fun.
Very good. Hey, Clinton, do you know the musical theme from Three Stooges? Do you remember?
I don't. No.
Three Blind Mice, right?
Oh, was it?
Wow. Yeah, okay.
Very simple.
And
very simple.
I know that theme reminds a lot of ref-hating fans of the refs, but what if some characters in this matchup can self-destruct for us? Because that show, of course, is all about Larry Moe and Curly messing things up for one another. Who might be the Larry Moe and Curly's or Shim potentially in this matchup? Somebody that just self-destructs and helps us out. Any hopeful Larry Moe and Curly's in this one, Clinton?
Yeah, I think I'm going to steal what Adam might say, because he said it a couple times about this team. It would be Shanahan. It'd be Shanahan. Like, so for some reason, Carroll, like, whereas Carroll was having, many problems with McVay until this year, there was that weird love triangle going on with they couldn't beat each other. But it'd be Shanahan, like, giving up the who they are. And I don't know why, but they've done it before. They've done it again.
He
Maybe
tries
it's
to outsmart himself, right?
yeah, exactly. So maybe just some self-destruction, that they just don't lean on what has worked, or they don't stick with it. It'd be very, very cool if we come out and we stop the run to a point where we have to make them think in bad weather. Man, if they got to think and they maybe overthink it, and Shanahan just really misplays his hand, and this game is 17-16 in the fourth quarter at some point, whoever's up. Again, getting back to that, what will the nerves be like for a rookie freaking quarterback who was the last pick in the NFL draft? Like, what will those nerves be like if he's got to go get a game-winning field goal, 17-mile-per-hour winds, and torrential downpour? Let's see that. So Shanahan needs to maybe goof up a little bit.
How about you, Adam? Who can Larry Moe and Curly for us besides Shanahan?
Yeah, I actually like Clinton's answer there a little bit, and I've got another one for you, but to kind of piggyback on to Clinton's point here, this is a perfect Pete Carroll game. Oh my God, this sets up perfectly for the coach that talks about ball control, is a little more conservative in his calls. This game is going to come down to like one or two really catastrophic mistakes that are kind of a little bit wild. But I think as far as offensively for the Niners to actually implode, like a guy that could just totally unravel, to me, it's Ayuk. He's kind of a head case, and they do like to get him involved. I could see him making the big mistake on offense, that one fumble, that one, pop a pass up into the air, and suddenly it's
I like it.
intercepted. He's the guy. He seems to be mentally the weakest link on the Niners offense. As far as the Niners defense, it's got to be their corners, right? They're pretty loaded all the way around. And now Ward's a fine corner. He's fine. Like the rest of their corners, not great. I do like their safety combo, but
Hufanga. Hufanga's been making some mistakes in the passing game. I heard he's got some like he's a difference maker in the run game, but he's made a couple coverage like even against the Cardinals. So I was hoping that he might mess it up for us, but that's just my 2 cents.
I could see Tyler making their number 2 corner look silly out on sloppy field conditions.
Yeah, I like that.
The precision footwork that Tyler brings to the table. I could see him still being able to function, even if it's a difficult footing out there. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Niners secondary and for their defensively, and then offensively, Ayuk.
I love that, because in general, it's not going to be much big passing plays, but there could be that moment, right, where there's a little play action and it's like a little double move or a sluggo, and all of a sudden the slop takes the guy down and somebody is just wide open. I hadn't even thought about that till you started talking. That could be beautiful. Were you trying to add something into that, Clinton?
Yeah, just I think I got one more that I think is how Shanahan could kind of mess this up a little bit too, is like a little bit of too many cooks in the kitchen. So Debo goes out several weeks ago, Purdy's in, and the offense is kind of like nope, I mean, we held them to the least amount of points every other game, 37, 33, 34. They're humming. Now all of a sudden, I think I'm not sure where he's at today, but I think he's practicing, and I do wonder if injecting him back in might be like the wrong time, because then you got a dude who's not quite healthy, who wants the ball, demands the ball, and all of a sudden you're not getting it to these other stars who are humming right now. So just another element in this weird concoction that it could be detrimental. Now, could he be Debo and kill us? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Could he be Debo and cause a little bit of tumults? Again, fourth quarter, people screaming at each other on the sidelines, the downpouring rain, not the game they expected, and they get nervous and they start, doing dumb things. I'm in for it.
McCaffrey and Debo both think that they can be the hero, and they're not going to be mad if another player is, but if if somebody's failing a little bit, they're going to be like, I wouldn't have done that. I could have
Yeah.
handled this play just fine.
I'd like to see it.
Totally see that. Last category is just a short one, Adam. And this is kind of a different kind of question. So think about it for a moment. Besides winning, because that's the free answer. But here we go. What if there's one thing we can all agree about regarding this game? What would you guess? All three of us would say, okay, this matchup, Seahawks, Niners, we can agree about this. Besides, we want to win. I'm saying you would expect most dialed in Hawk fans would think this about this game. What would you say that is, Adam?
Okay, in terms of having optimism about winning the game, is that kind of where you're going with that?
What
question,
it's going to take, like what it's going to take for us to win. That might be one way to look at it, or a reality that we know is sure about this particular matchup. Something you just expect. Okay. We're all going to say that's right about this game.
Right. Well, I'll give you an answer that everybody probably does agree with, and then also probably hasn't given a lot of thought to, and maybe doesn't totally agree with. So basically the short, simple answer is Ken Walker has to have a big day. Now, with that said, most people are going to say, probably not likely against this Niners defense and everything. Well, the dirty little secret in Santa Clara is that the San Francisco defense has been struggling a bit against the run the last 3-4 weeks. They've really dropped off.
Cool. I love that.
Yeah. And convexly, you see the Seahawks offense actually starting to put together multiple good rushing attacks over the last few weeks.
Definitely.
I think it's highly likely that the Seahawks actually get the run game going. Because of the weather, they're not going to have a lot of other options. And so Pete doesn't have to explain to nobody why he ran the ball 40 times with Ken Walker and whoever else he decides to put back there. So Ken Walker having a big day, and I think it's actually likely.
Wow, I love that. I'm so glad I went in and threw that question on there, because that answer is fantastic. We all agree Walker needs a good game. And if he can, I mean, we have like some great variety. Some 22 we're throwing in there, personnel with the fullbacks, some 13, some Wildcat. I mean, we're getting the gamut of runs other than, jet sweeps and such. But
some Carhan in motion. Yeah.
Slowly plodding across the line.
No, I like it. 29 attempts. Give me that. What do you got, Clinton? You got a good one for this question?
I think I do. I think most Seahawks fans are going to be like, okay, I'll take it to the hey, something like this has to happen for us to win. Like that. I think most people are thinking this way. It's not like, oh, it's cool if it happens. Like, hey, we got to kind of catch one of these breaks. And it's an Igwe Buke, whether it's a return for a touchdown, but or setting them up for like an easy 7. He's been dynamite. Niners coverage is it's okay. I don't think it's anything special, but I think most Seahawks fans have been watching this guy bubble. I'm not saying national media. They won't know who the hell Igwe Buke is anyway, but we do. And we've been seeing him percolate and get really close and then taking him back across the 50. What about that next level more? Be like, hey, that's a way we steal 7. Yeah. We steal 7 on this tough team. That's a way we could get there. So that's my guy.
I like it. We need something from the extra. I think we all agree that we're not going to win this. I think the Niners could win with losing the turnover battle. I don't see a path for the Hawks to win with losing the turnover battle. Maybe if it's even. Do you disagree with that, Adam?
So there's different results from turnovers, right? So as long as, let's say they lose the turnover battle, but they're within a score, but they're within a score still, whether, it just didn't turn into points for the Niners or the offense answered or whatever it is, right? Then I think the Seahawks have a huge advantage. Clinton keeps bringing up the word nervous, and it's the right one, because there's one team that clearly has every catfish thing to lose in this game, and one team with nothing. People are already penciling in a Super Bowl Lombardi right next to the 49ers, right? It's already happening. I think all the pressure in the world is on the Niners, and there's none on the Seahawks.
And Mr. Phil, I want to commend you. Sometimes you second guess your categories. I never do. They're always spot on. But this was a fun gauntlet to run through. Dude, you got the mind cooking, got the words flowing, and I don't know about you, Adam. Actually, I do know about you. You get all emotional. You get all in your shoulders, and I could see you beaming, getting fired up for this game. Now that we went through this little exercise, I love it.
You guys got a prediction before we close it out here?
Yeah, but
Prediction for the game. Adam first.
Prediction. The prediction I want, or the actual reality prediction?
This is like you throw a wish for a player, and that's somebody you want to shine, a what if Super Hawk, and then you say, here's what I expect will happen in this game. Most likely prediction for a score.
Okay, what I want to happen. I want Charles Cross to have the best game that he's had all year against Nicholas John Bosa. There it is. Yeah. Because, man, if they could keep Bosa in check for the majority of the game, that would be a huge win. That'd be a huge win. And then I think the Seahawks have a chance. Now, the official score, what I think in actuality is going to happen, I think it's going to be 2017 Niners in probably a lot closer than everybody gives it credit for, but a third time around, divisional opponent, bad weather, Seahawks clicking a little bit in the run game. The Niners having a hard time stopping it lately. I think it makes them nervous, and it makes it really, really close. It's going to be a critical mistake game. Just that one critical mistake. And the Hawks have zero room for error, where the Niners have room for maybe one.
That's what I was thinking a little. Yeah. Clinton, can 3 be the magic number? What do you got for a prediction?
I've got to stay Pollyanna. I got to put my Pollyanna glasses on here and say, why not? Right. So, I'm playing with house money.
You're 9-3.
I waxed Brandon this season series, so I could be wrong on this one and still be right. So my wish, though, because we talked about turnovers, we talked about like having, and yes, I do think it's gonna be very difficult if we don't win the turnover battle, even with what you said, Adam, where 4-0 in the 2 games we played versus the Niners this year, 4 turnovers to 0. That goose egg has got to change. So it may not be about winning the turnover battle, but it is about at least causing 1 turnover at least. Because again, to get to that nervousness, how do I see it happening? My wish, Nwosu around the bend, strip sack. I'm not saying it's a recovery for 7, but it's a recovery. And we get the ball and we get again, the nerves get going like, ooh, that happened in the 3rd quarter. This is a 3-point game and the ball's back. They will be nervous.
Oh yeah. And I love that feel.
And it will lead us to a hard fought 17-16 victory over these San Francisco 49ers. Why not already? If you're going to be a Bear, be a Grizzly. Let's friggin' go.
All right, gentlemen. Anything to add before we close out?
I'm fired up, man. I wanted them to make the playoffs. And now that we're here, I definitely want them to beat the catfish Niners and continue on, because the rest of this NFC field, I don't fear that much. We can get past the Niners. I literally look at the field and I'm like, we can actually get there. Yeah.
Other than the Niners, we're all the same, right? That's why the Diggs pick, whether you agree or not, Adam, was the play of the year, because it took us from losing in overtime to getting a winning season and opening up the opportunity that we could get into the playoffs and just have fun. That's why it went from we just lost to now we got a winning season. Now we're in the playoffs. I'm stoked about it. I'm nervous just because I hate losing, but it's fun either way. Gentlemen, what if we say go Hawks?
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.